Good morning students, welcome to my channel Common Sense Explore. Today I will explain about the most interesting topic of engineering, that is electronic devices and circuits, or basic electronics you can say. So by definition electronics is a branch of engineering which deals with the flow of electrons through a vacuum tube or semiconductor devices. So first of all you need to know basic information about basic electronics. That first information, you have to know the temperature. Why temperature? Because remember, semiconductor devices are very sensitive to temperature. Okay, for temperature minus 270 degree centigrade is also denoted as 0 Kelvin. It is also known as absolute zero. Okay, so few temperature value is very important. Why absolute zero is important? Because in this temperature all the semiconductor devices stop working. Okay, and next, room temperature. Room temperature in case of electronics, it is considered as 27 degree centigrade, or you can say 300 Kelvin. Do you know how to convert from degree centigrade to Kelvin? Just add with 273. So 27 degree centigrade means 27 plus 273, that is equals to 300 Kelvin. So it is nothing but the room temperature. So the next is ambient temperature. Ambient temperature is a special temperature. All the communication devices especially can work in this temperature in perfectly. Okay, and this is nothing but the 17 degree centigrade is known as ambient temperature, or you can say 290 Kelvin. Okay, these three values are very important, please remember. Next point is thermal voltage. It is denoted as VT, or you can say voltage equivalent of temperature. Voltage equivalent of temperature is known as thermal voltage, or you can say temperature in terms of voltage known as thermal voltage. Okay, equation of thermal voltage, please remember, VT is equals to KT by Q. Okay, where K means it's Boltzmann's constant, T means the temperature in Kelvin scale. Remember, all the temperature are measured in Kelvin scale, and Q is the electronic charge. This K and Q is constant charge. We know the charge of an electron is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. So if you replace K and Q, then the value is coming as VT is equals to this T by 11,600. Okay, so this is the equation. You can say another equation holds. Okay, if T is equals to 0 Kelvin, T will be equals to 0. Okay, because 0 by something is 0. Now if T is equals to at room temperature means 300 Kelvin, VT will be equals to 300 by 11,600. It will be coming 0.02568 volt, or you can say nearly equals to 26 millivolt. This value is very important, that thermal voltage at room temperature is almost nearly equals to 26 millivolt. For large variation in temperature, there will be a small variation in thermal voltage, you can see. For large variation of temperature means from 0 Kelvin to 300 Kelvin means almost 300 Kelvin variation, but the thermal voltage only changes 26 millivolt, only very few amount. The standard room temperature corresponds to a voltage of 26 millivolt. Okay, so next topic is electron volt. This is the practical units of energy in electronics engineering. So first of all, what is electron volt actually? So let's see. Suppose this is a parallel plate capacitor. Okay, now it is connected with a potential difference of 1 volt. Okay, this is the positive plate and this is negative plate. Now from negative to positive, electrons are reaching from negative to positive. Okay, so now the definition of electron volt is that amount of energy gained by an electron through a potential difference of 1 volt is known as 1 electron volt. Okay, so the energy gained by an electron through a potential difference of 1 volt. So this is the definition. Means the energy of the electron is increases. Now 1 electron volt can be written as 1 electronic charge into 1 volt. Okay, 1 electronic charge means 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb into 1 volt. Okay, coulomb into volt. What is the meaning? In electrostatic, you know that V potential equals to W by Q, or W can be written as V into Q. Okay, what is W? W is the work done or energy, V is potential, and Q is the charge. So that means potential multiplied with charge is nothing but energy, and the unit of energy is joule. So that means, can I say this charge into potential is joule? So you can write here 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 joule. Okay, so that means 1 electron volt equals to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joule. Okay, now as electron gains energy, so that means kinetic energy gained. So kinetic energy gained by an electron is exactly equals to potential energy lost, because total energy is constant. So if kinetic energy increases, automatically potential energy decreases. Okay, so if both are same, in that particular case, half into m into v square equals to q into v. First of all, kinetic energy means half mv square, where m equals to mass of an electron, and that is equals to 9.11 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg. Okay, and v is the speed of electron or the velocity of electron. Okay, next, what is q? Q is the electronic charge, as I told you, this E or Q. Okay, and V is the potential difference, PD I am writing. Okay, this is the charge of an electron. Now from this equation you can calculate the velocity V, small v, this V equals to square root of 2 into Q into V by M. Okay, so this is the equation of speed of an electron, okay, in meter per second. Okay, so this is overall electron volt. So electron volt is the practical units of energy that is used in electronics engineering. You can see the next part is electric field intensity. It is denoted as E. So it is also known as field gradient. Now electric field intensity can be written as minus dV by dx. Okay, so minus dV by dx means rate of change of voltage with respect to distance is known as gradient. So V means voltage and x is the distance, so its unit can be written as volt per meter. Okay, so now, or it can be written as dV means change in voltage or voltage existing divided by distance. Okay, so the voltage existing by distance is known as field intensity. Now let us consider a uniform semiconductor bar. I am writing here uniform semiconductor, I am writing SC bar, which is connected with a potential difference of 1 volt. Okay, let it is 1 volt. Now the different position I am writing. This is the point A, middle point I am taking as point C, center, or you can say, and this is point B. Okay, it is x is equals to 0, because distance is also important. It is uniform semiconductor bar, so this is counting starting from 0, x is equals to 0, and this is x is equals to 1 micrometer. Let us suppose. Okay, so the total length is 1 micrometer of this semiconductor bar. Now I want to calculate the field gradient or electric field intensity at each and every point of semiconductor bar. How to calculate? Normal formula is that voltage existing by distance. Now first I will calculate at the point C. Okay, so electric field at center means at point C equals to the voltage existing at point C. I am writing VC because V by X, so can I write VC by XC? Okay, voltage existing at point C is equals to 0.5 volt. Why 0.5? Potential here is 1 volt, here it will be 0.5 volt, so it is 0.5 volt divided by XC. XC is This is the half distance, as the total distance is 1 micrometer, so half distance will be 0.5 micrometer, so it will be 0.5 micrometer, and it can be written as 0.5 by 0.5 into 10 to the power of minus 6, because micrometer to meter conversion, it is 0.5 cancel, so answer is coming 10 to the power of 6 volt per meter. Okay, so that means at the center the electric field intensity is equals to 10 to the power of 6 volt per meter. Okay, so next, at point B, electric field intensity at point B, EB, equals to VB by XB. Okay, voltage by distance, V at point B, voltage at point B is 1 volt. Voltage distance at point B, from you have to count from here, it is 1 micrometer, so you have to take 1 micrometer. At point B it is 1 micrometer. Okay, so it will be 1 by 1 into 10 to the power of minus 6, so it is coming again 10 to the power of 6 volt per meter. So you can see here, except at point A, all the points, means each and every points here, the electric field intensity are same, exactly the same. Okay, so I can write here, except point A. ठीक है, so सिर्फ A को छोड़ के बाकी हर जगह में इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इंटेंसिटी वैल्यू इज सेम, दैट इज 10 to the power of 6 volt per meter as per the information. Okay, so except at point A, every where the field intensity will be equal. Okay, so this is the overall field intensity of a uniform semiconductor, and this procedure is very important. Please remember, whenever this kind of question is given, so just what you can do is that the voltage divided by the distance you will do. Okay, just see, I have done here, voltage is 1 volt and distance is 1 micrometer, 10 to the power 6. So this is how you have to solve. So here in this video you can see the mobility of charge carriers. Mobility means the how fast a charge carrier can move from one position to another position. First of all, how many charge carriers are there in semiconductors? Actually there are two types of charge carriers in semiconductor. First type is electrons, is a charge carrier, and second is holes. Okay, so I will explain about electrons and holes in details next video. Okay, so first of all, electrons is negatively charged and hole is considered as a positively charged, because hole actually does not exist. Hole is nothing but the deficiency of electrons or absence of electrons, you can say. Okay, so now first of all, these are the charge carriers in semiconductors. How fast an electron or holes can move from one position to another position, that is denoted by mobility of the charge carrier. Okay, and it is denoted as mu. Okay, so mobility mu can be written as drift velocity d by electric field. This is the formula, please remember, E. Okay, so this is the equation, mu equals to drift velocity by electric field, or you can write mu equals to Vd by E. Okay, so this equation is very important. So mobility of charge carrier is drift velocity by electric field. The unit of drift velocity unit is nothing but meter per second. Okay, and unit of electric field is equals to volt per meter. SI unit I am talking about. So the unit of mu equals to drift velocity unit is meter per second by volt per meter, meters by into volt second. Okay, so meter square by volt second. Instead of meter you can write centimeter square by volt second. Okay, so this is the unit of mobility of charge carrier. One thing always remember, that drift velocity is always greater than normal velocity, because drift velocity with the influence of external electric field, that's why it is always greater than the normal velocity. As I told you, there are two charge carriers in semiconductor. One is electron, N, please remember, and another is holes, P. How to remember? Just N is negative, so electron is negative, that's why electron is N. So hole is positive, so it is considered as P. Okay, that's why electron mobility is denoted as mu N and hole mobility is denoted as mu p. Okay, I am writing here electron E mobility mu n equals to, there are two naturally available semiconductors are there. One is germanium, another is silicon. These are naturally available semiconductor, and hole mobility mu p. For germanium, this is 3800 and this is 1800, and for silicon it is 1300 and 500. All have the common unit, that is centimeter square by volt second. It is clearly visible that mu of n is greater than mu of p, means electron mobility is always greater than hole mobility. And another information, mu of germanium is greater than mu of silicon. That germanium semiconductor having higher mobility than silicon semiconductor. Electron mobility is higher than hole mobility, means electron can move faster than hole. Okay, so that's why it can contribute more current than hole. So this is how the electron and hole mobility and their comparison. Two things for germanium, please remember, germanium has higher conductivity due to larger mobility. This is the reason. Germanium has higher conductivity because due to larger mobility, and it is also relatively more suitable for high frequency application. The reason is it has larger bandwidth. That's why high frequency application it is suitable. Like germanium, similarly silicon has also having 2 points, suitable for switching application, because the reason is it has no false triggering. False triggering means extra pulse cannot generate, that unwanted signal cannot generate. Another, it is suitable for high power application. Please remember, germanium is suitable for high frequency application, but silicon is suitable for high power application. The mobility of the charge carrier always decreases with the temperature, and it is denoted as mu is directly proportional to T to the power of minus m, this relation, and where m is a constant. And you can see here, as power having minus sign, that means if temperature increases, so mu will decrease. Okay, inverse relation. First of all, let me tell you, suppose this is point A and point B. One charge is moving directly from point A to point B. By definition of mobility, how fast an electron or hole can move from point A to point B. Okay, if it is going directly, that means it going faster. Now whenever we are applying temperature, the charge carrier having some thermal vibration. Thermal vibration means it goes ups and downs. Okay, it like dancing. Okay, now if it is dancing, so it will take more time to reach from A to B, so that's why mobility decreases. Okay, so this is the main reason why temperature increases, mobility decreases. Okay, because when temperature increases, there will be thermal vibration, and due to thermal vibration it will take more time to reach the destination. For silicon and germanium, this m value is 2.5 for electron, 2.7 for hole, 1.66 for electron, and m 2.33 for hole, and this is for electron. You can see here mu equals to Vd by E, or I can write Vd is equals to mu E, mu into E. First of all, we will plot mu versus E graph, mu versus E graph, mu with relation with E. So if electric field increases, automatically mu will decreases. Why? Because electric field is in denominator. Whenever denominator increases, this value will decrease. Okay, as per the mathematics. So now I will draw the graph. I am taking electric field in x-axis, and mu is in y-axis. Experimentally prove that for a few region it is constant. Next it is decreases in this way. Okay, next it is decreases linearly. Okay, and you can see here the values. Electric field is almost 10 to the power of 3 this is constant. Okay, mu is constant. For 10 to the power 3 to 10 to the power 4, it is decreases with a variation of 1 by square root of e. Okay, and in this region mu decrease 1 by e. Okay, so you can see this is the plot between mu versus e. So it is nearly equals to 10 to the power of 7 volt per centimeter. Vd versus E graph, it is clearly shown that if electric field increases, automatically Vd is also will increase. Okay, because it is directly proportional. So now Vd versus E, directly proportional. Okay, so electric field I am taking in x-axis and Vd drift velocity I am taking in y-axis. First it will increase linearly, then it will go sublinearly, means from here to here it is sublinearly, then it is coming to saturation. Okay, 0 to 10 to the power of 3 and this is 10 to the power of 4 volt per centimeter. Okay, so from 10 to the power 0 to 10 to the power 3 it is linear. I am writing here it is linear variation, and from this point to this point 10 to the power 3 to 10 to the power 4 it is known as sublinear. Okay, and this region is known as saturation. This region is known as saturation. This is how the two plots of one is mu versus E plot, mobility with electric field, another is drift velocity with electric field. So here you can see the current in semiconductor denoted as I, and we know that current is equals to rate of change of charge with respect to time. Okay, dq dt. There are two charge carriers in semiconductor, one is electron, another is hole. That's why current in semiconductor is bipolar in nature. Bipolar, this word is very important. Bi means two, it is due to electron as well as hole. Okay, current in semiconductor is due to electrons as well as due to holes. The definition of drift current: current through any material due to influence of external electric field. So due to external electric field, if there is current is flowing through a material, that is called drift current, and that's why drift current is always greater than the normal current. Now here you can see the operating temperatures for germanium and for silicon. Okay, so for germanium it is minus 60 degree centigrade to plus 75 degree centigrade, this range. So maximum is 75 degree centigrade. For silicon it is minus 60 degree centigrade to plus 175 degree centigrade. Okay, so maximum is 175 degree centigrade. So which one is better? So silicon better in this case. Silicon is better than germanium because silicon can operate up to plus 175 degree centigrade, and whereas germanium only can operate up to 75 degree centigrade. Okay, more than that it cannot operate. Normal working temperature for any semiconductor devices less than equals to 400 Kelvin, मीन्स 400 केल्विन से अगर ज़्यादा टेम्परेचर होगा तो कोई सेमीकंडक्टर डिवाइस काम नहीं करेगा. ठीक है, सो 400 केल्विन या इससे कम होना जरूरी है. सो दिस इज द नॉर्मल वर्किंग टेम्परेचर फॉर एनी सेमीकंडक्टर डिवाइसेस. ओके.